Thank you for coming. Good evening. Thank you for coming to the July 10th Planning and Zoning meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
Jeff here.
Daryl here.
Michael here.
Lynn here.
Amanda here.
Eric here.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Has everybody had the opportunity to read tonight's agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody have anything?
No.
Over at staff? No? May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda of July 10th, 2024.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Amanda, second by Daryl, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes, did everybody read them?
Yes.
Yes.
Anything?
Nothing.
No? No? Oh, you weren't here? No? I have nothing, so may I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 26, 2024?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of June 26, 2024 as presented.
I second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Michael, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does anybody have declaration of conflicts of interest this evening?
No.
And anything? Okay. Public comment. Is there anybody we'll open public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that has anything they would like to say of something that is not on tonight's agenda? Nobody. We're closing. Anybody on Zoom? Closing public comment. No special presentations. With that, we'll go on to design review and land use public hearings. 0008 Silver Star Trail. Madison.
So this is a 3-bedroom, 2,624 square foot single family home measured to the midpoint of the roof at 25 feet 11 1/4 inches under the 28-foot height limit. Parking is more than adequate with 4 off-street spaces, 2 of which are provided in the garage, and they provide 2 more than is required. They're required to provide 2, they provided 4. All setbacks are respected, and the proposal is under the allowable lot and impervious coverage limitations. They have more snow storage than is required by the code at 222 square feet. Staff has identified no issues and recommends approval of the plans.
I have nothing to add other than answering questions of the board.
Does anybody? Well, we'll open to public comment in the audience first, and then we'll come back to comment. There's nobody out there? Nobody on Zoom?
No one on Zoom.
Okay, so we'll close public comment. Is there anybody on the commission that has any questions? Eric?
None
Amanda?
for me.
None? None. You're gonna be teased about that forever.
I know. I will ask again.
Michael?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm going to pool all of my time for Amanda.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Well, and she is in the room, so you can't do that. You have nothing either. Okay, with that, may I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve final plans for 0008 Silver Star Trail.
May I have a second?
I second that motion.
Motion by Michael, second by Amanda. Is there any further conversation? No?
No.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
Amanda, aye.
Oh, that's right, we're all here tonight, sorry. Lynn, aye.
Michael, aye.
Daryl, aye.
Jeff, aye.
5 ayes, no nays. Thank you on number 1. You may be right. He teasingly said we might beat our last meeting.
No.
23 minutes or something.
Well, there's one extra to go over.
That's what I said to him.
Hurry up.
Stalling.
That's waiting for you.
Okay, next, 0141 Miles End Lane, Madison.
This is a 3-bedroom, 3,418 square foot single family home measured to the midpoint of the roof at 26 feet 9 7/8 inches under the 28-foot height limit. Parking is fine with 4 off-street spaces, 2 in the garage and 2 in front of the garage, which are allowed per the approved PUD guide. All setbacks are respected, and the proposal is under the allowable lot and impervious coverage limitations. They have more snow storage than is required by the code at 418 square feet. Staff has identified no issues and recommends approval of the plans.
Anybody have anything? Public, open, nobody on Zoom,
No one on Zoom.
nobody in the audience, close public comment? Anybody on the commission? No, 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 no.
I want to check the ILC, make sure 7/8 of an inch on the roof is.
You don't want it to be 26 feet and 10 inches?
No, there's one in here that's,
There's
like
one
that.
that's
that's the
7/8 of
next
an
one,
inch.
it's the next one.
And I've made a note of that.
It's a little, but you're a little
A
ahead.
tighter?
Jeff.
Yes, just so.
Kind of.
Okay. So, nothing on the commission. Therefore, may I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve final plans of 0141 Miles End Lane.
May I have a second?
A second.
Motion by Michael, second by Amanda. Roll call vote, please.
Amanda, I.
I was gonna say, does anybody have any further conversation? But no, it was my fault, not yours. No? Okay, roll call vote.
Amanda, I.
Lynn, aye.
Michael, I.
Daryl, aye.
Jeff, I.
Motion passes 5-0. Next, 0185 Miles End Lane.
This is a 4-bedroom, 3,745 square foot single family home, measured to the midpoint of the roof at 27 feet 11 and 7/8 inches,
That's
which
the one,
is
yes.
technically under the 28-foot height limit. Staff would like to note that when building, they will need to be careful as there's an 1/8 inch of wiggle room. Parking is adequate with 4 off-street spaces, 2 of which are provided in the garage, which is allowed per the approved PUD guide. All setbacks are respected and the proposal is under the allowable lot and impervious coverage limitations. They have more snow storage than is required by the code at 695 square feet. Staff would like to know that some snow storage is shown on the strip of land between the front lot line and the curb of Miles End Lane. However, there is still adequate snow storage on the lot at 399.75 square feet. Staff has identified no issues and recommends approval of the plans.
Anything from the developer? Nothing. Anything public? We'll open to public comment. Anybody on Zoom?
No one on Zoom.
Nobody on Zoom? Nobody in the audience? We'll close public comment. Back to commission. Anybody on commission have any questions on this one?
I don't have any just the 27, 11, and 7/8, you know, basically our old code / current code. You know, we have all the foundation and framing and all the final ILCs, and you know, I think they're beneficial for everybody, including the builder, because as long as you got it, you're good. So that's all I have.
I had a question on the driveway. It's 19 feet. And a lot of these trucks with extended cabs and what have you, I know my Denali measures 21 feet. In other words, everything will be sticking out into the road. Is that appropriate?
So lot 20, actually, it's gonna be more than that because there's a 20-foot setback from the property line to the building envelope.
So there is a little bit of wiggle room on that.
Yeah, so, and I believe, Scott or Madison, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a standard parking space is 8 by 16,
9 by 8.
9 by 18, so 18 is the limit. But again, from the property line to the building envelope on these lots is 20 feet. So we've got all of that to that property line, and then the back of curb is even further beyond that.
So you don't think there'll be any vehicles sticking out into
Well-
the road at all? Because like, you know, by you saying 20 feet to the property line, you're snugged up to the garage door at that point.
Correct. So there may be the possibility that a longer vehicle will stick out there, but again, it's within that 18 feet regulation that the town has set.
Okay.
Got a 2
I'm
foot.
just uncomfortable with it, you know, being that road, the Miles End Lane is a major thoroughfare for that, so to speak.
Right.
If there-
But also being a dead end, shouldn't be a lot of traffic going through there at high speed. It's gonna be the local residents coming through there.
Right, it won't be high speed, but there could be, you go in and you come out.
Right.
If they stick out, they get a ticket. If they have their space that's built to our current code,
Yeah,
it's sort of hard to have them make it bigger.
Well,
yeah, but I'm just. voicing
would that
concern.
not be something that the
Very
association could
Understood.
perhaps,
They can certainly monitor that.
they can monitor? Yeah.
But again, most of the time, the driveway from the garage door to the back of the curb is longer than that 20 feet.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. Anybody else?
I just have a question as a matter of, I guess, moving forward, when we have, applications that push or bump up against the limit like this on height, I just want to, I guess, talk about it and not go too far down the rabbit hole, but how will we look at, or how does the town want to handle down the road if they want to put solar on their roof, or they want to put a satellite dish on their roof? Is that considered to be something that throws it over, or is it not part of the house?
That would not be considered in the height calculation.
Would not be.
No.
Because it's a piece of equipment,
Yeah,
it's not part of the structure.
we're not gonna be real successful in regulating solar panel installation on roofs based on state statute and protection of those
It
types of
doesn't
things.
throw
But I hear what
things
you're
over
saying.
height limits.
What about if they
No.
change the roof type from asphalt to a metal where you have those shieldings that actually lift it, like have it a little bit higher? Would that be considered?
Like standing seam.
Yeah, you know it.
we just as a general, in every jurisdiction that we've worked in, we've always dealt with top of roof sheeting rather than the roofing material itself.
Got it.
So generally, I mean, you could see 3/4 of an inch to an inch. But again, with the way the building height regulation reads at the center point of the roof, to the grade directly below it, there's a lot of, I mean, half the building is still higher. So, that thickness of the roofing material really isn't going to affect, if we were 6-8 inches above, then it becomes a concern. And we've always tried to do, there's a couple of the houses that are coming up that we've had to change the roof pitches down to lower them because there's a hole in the existing grade, that's not consistent with the rest. So we've had to lower roof pitches to get the building heights under the 28 feet, even though, it's the same house as everything else in the neighborhood. There just happens to be a swale, through that one particular lot. So I think from an overall development standpoint, the building heights are pretty consistent and stable.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you and Scott. I just wanted to, as a matter of procedure for us, so we don't keep asking the same question, when we're talking about future land uses or whatever that come up against this. Just when we have things that are close to it, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
So from my knowledge, what's the standard height increase if you put solar panels on? I don't know how much height the solar panel is.
It totally changes, but it's not really relative to this
And
conversation.
the way that we measure with the pitch, if it sticks up, it really doesn't affect the way that on a regular roof is measured. And I'm sure when the time comes again, we will debate where the
We have
measurement.
metal standing seam roofs and we have solar panels, and it added maybe 3.5, 4 inches total. 'Cause
I mean, it's
but
just
to-
knowledge for me, it's just education, that's
Yeah, we
all.
measure from top to bottom, right in the middle for midpoint. So the midpoint,
It's just
Does it
wood
rise
structure,
with
it's
that
not even
thickness?
materials on top.
yeah, it's not linear thickness, like you said, in metal at the top technically with your ridge cap, if you're standing up an inch at the top and then you put it on, that inch could bump you when you're at 7/8, for sure.
But it doesn't matter what we're doing in ILC.
Okay,
I have another question for Madison. How many spaces, parking spaces?
For this one, 4. We have 2 in the garage and 2 in front.
Okay. I'm seeing all the two guest rooms as well as, I guess that's So that's code, that's in code.
That is per their PUD guide. They're required to provide
Okay.
4 spaces regardless of the number of
Okay.
bedrooms.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Jeff, nothing? Okay. May I have a motion, please?
This is the one room.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve 0185 Miles End Lane.
Second.
Motion by Michael, who seconded? Jeff? Any further conversation? No? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Amanda, I.
Lynn, aye.
Michael, I.
Daryl, aye.
Jeff, I.
5 ayes, no nays. Thank you. Next, 0096 Miles End Lane. Madison?
This is a 3-bedroom, 2,624 square foot single family home measured to the midpoint of the roof at 26 feet 7.5 inches under the 28-foot height limit. Parking is adequate with 4 off-street spaces, 2 of which are provided in the garage, which is allowed per the approved PUD guide. All setbacks are respected and the proposal is under the allowable lot and impervious coverage limitations. They have more snow storage than is required by the code at 675 square feet. Staff would like to know that some snow storage has been shown on the strip of land between the front lot line and the curve of Minturn Road. There is adequate snow storage still in the lot at 485.5 square feet. Staff has identified no issues and recommends approval of the plans.
Nothing from the developer. I'll open to public comment. Madison, anybody on Zoom?
Oh, no one on Zoom?
Nobody in the audience? We'll close to public comment. Come back to the commission. Let's start at this end. Jeff,
I don't have any issues.
Daryl,
No, I'm fine.
Michael,
Oh, I'm good.
you're still paging through.
I had things marked. I don't know what's going on. But
I have nothing.
No, not on that one.
I do have a question, and it's on
Good.
snow storage. We've had 2 now that it's in the, close to the, Minturn Road. Will the same, because we have all of those snow removal requirements up, everywhere in town, will those snow requirements apply to this PUD, or will they have separate snow requirements on that Minturn Road because it's the PUD?
Right, so so everywhere in town, you're supposed to be shoveling your sidewalks and driveways and that kind of stuff and maintaining it on your property.
Yeah.
I believe just this past winter, specific sections of town like Pine Street and Eagle Street, if you got in Harrison, if you got your snow out before like 5 a.m. or something like that, then the town would plow it for you. I don't believe Minturn Road was a part of that new section of code, and so they would still be expected to maintain all their snow storage on their own property.
Okay, and there's nothing special in the PUD that would preclude them from those snow storage requirements that are for the rest of the town?
They still have to meet 5% of the lot, just like everybody else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is there.
Okay. Okay,
Just kind of open space stuff. Well,
excuse me, gentlemen. Sorry,
no,
no further questions?
well, I had just some clarifications.
No, you can ask them.
Oh, I was wondering if there was any sidewalks, but looking here, it just looks like it's all open spaces. No sidewalks. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. The only sidewalk is along 4th Street.
Okay.
Anything else? No?
No.
May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve 0096 Miles End Lane.
May I have a second?
I second.
Motion by Amanda, second by Michael. Any further questions, thoughts? No? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Amanda, I.
Lynn, aye.
Michael, I.
Bill, aye.
Jeff, I.
Any no nays, 5 yeas, no nays. Next, 0206 Miles in Lane.
This is a 4-bedroom, 4,475 square foot single family home measured to the midpoint of the roof at 27 feet 9 1/8 inches under the 28-foot height limit. Parking is adequate with 4 off-street spaces, 2 of which are provided in the garage, which is allowed per the approved PUD guide. All setbacks are respected and the proposal is under the allowable lot and impervious coverage limitations. They have more snow storage than is required by the code at 820 square feet. One required plan revision is that the ordinary high water mark should be labeled on the site plan prior to or concurrent with building permit application. And just to clarify, staff doesn't have any concerns about the placement of the ordinary high water mark in the 30-foot live stream setback. This is just a labeling comment. We know where it is on the plans. Staff recommends approval with that one condition.
Okay, nothing from the developer. Open to public comment. Madison, anybody?
No one on Zoom?
Nobody in the audience. We will close public comment. Come to the commission. Eric, do you have anything?
I don't have
Amanda?
anything on this one.
I don't have anything either. Michael?
I don't have anything.
Gerald?
Last meeting, we had questions about the retaining wall. Does this retaining wall come down to this house?
So the concrete retaining wall transitions halfway across the back of lot 5.
Okay,
So it is partway across the back of this, so we will have a gunite soil retention wall and then the concrete wall on top of it when it's finished.
and this isn't that 8-foot wall or?
So across the back of this lot, I think it goes from 2 feet up to maybe 5 feet.
Oh.
So they're 2-foot blocks, they're 2 foot deep and 6 foot long. So they are the big concrete blocks that have the texture that's cast into them.
Okay, that's just a question on the picture there. Thank you.
Jeff?
I don't have any issues.
Nobody has any more questions? May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve 0206 Miles End Lane.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Wait a minute, we have to go back. Doesn't that need to include the condition?
Yes.
Yes, please.
I make a motion to approve 0206 Miles End Lane with a condition to add the high water mark onto the plans.
Thank you.
Now, may I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Amanda, second by Darrell. May I have a roll call? Oh, any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Amanda, aye.
Lynn, aye.
Michael, aye.
Darrell, aye. Jeff, aye.
5 yeas, no nays. I think we made it, except we have a continuing meeting, but
Thank you, everybody.
thank you very much.
And you guys, congratulations.
You're making it simple, thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It is, that way it keeps me
Oh,
think I don't have 5.
idle back and say, no, we can do this.
what do we got?
We got it.
We got discussion and direction items.
We don't have
Are
any
you
discussion.
praying? About what?
Then we'll get out of here before 6.
I have one.
Well, you better hurry, Scott, and tell me, is there any discussion and direction
No.
items? Are there any staff reports?
The thing I would add is you're probably wondering, what happened to Minturn Forward and when are we?
Oh, yes, I was gonna ask that before the end of the meeting.
Let's do that under staff.
We were so rushed and now we're just doing nothing.
That's fine, I can do that under staff.
I had a question on our sign stuff.
Okay, that's staff reports. Are we there yet?
I don't know, that's what I was wondering.
That's next.
I'm sorry.
Staff reports, Scott said he'll do this under staff reports. Let's go to staff reports.
Okay, staff reports. Sign, more
Scott
questions.
says we got 5 minutes.
Staff reports. No, my only, one, I love all the signage down there. I don't have any issue with any of the signage. I think it looks great. I think the building looks great. I just wanted to, I don't even, it doesn't matter to me regardless, but, on some of these some of these measurements, they're just wrong.
Okay.
So,
Really?
you know, like the square foot isn't really a square foot, you know? I don't know why some of it, they must just be putting it in from the size of the letters and this and that, but, you know, I don't even know what our allowance is, but I can tell you like 160 inches by 18.5 is more than 20 square foot, for sure, because that's like 14 feet times a foot and a half. So that equals more than 20.5, for example.
14 and 14.
No, 14 feet by a foot and a half is about 20.
160 inches is 14 foot.
Yeah.
Okay,
And 14 by a foot and a half is about 20 feet.
14.
It's like 21.
All right, maybe I've been on the roof too long. All right, so my brain's a little cooked and I apologize.
May,
There we go, you're right.
you're looking at it. But Madison,
I'm
could
like-
you do,
That's so funny.
would it be too much to ask for a quick rendition of how we measure how much signage can go in a building?
Yeah, sure. So signage is based on the amount of frontage that you have. And because they border the river and CDOT, Highway 24, based on the way the lot lines fall, they get their frontage along Main Street, like going past the main entrance of their building. And then they get all of the frontage on how that building steps along the river. They don't get any of the frontage for like their driveway area where you can turn in.
Because the rear of the building faces a public right of way,
Yes.
Highway 24.
So they get 66% of the frontage. So whatever that came out to, it was like 200 square feet of frontage or something like that. They were allowed to have 150 roughly, and they proposed 120. Or maybe they were allowed 120 and they got 90. But they're well under it. That was the important part.
What is the percentage again of the 200?
66
66% is what they get to use.
is what they get to use.
It looks what, you know, don't have me do math at night, that's for sure. 4:30 in the morning, you know. Yeah, it's amazing.
Let's see, that was 145 or 146? That's 145. I have the actual.
But just leave it as it looks. It
It's
looks
like,
great.
you know, Eric probably doesn't know this issue and Daryl doesn't probably, so it's a good time to introduce him to how it works.
And then taking that further, the way that it's calculated on the sign or the building itself, if a sign has letters, but it also has backing, you measure the backing, not just the letters. If the letters are pin mounted on a building, you measure around the letters. You measure as close as you can around the shape of the logo to get that square footage.
And it was 95.6 square feet that they were asking for, so it must have been like 120. They were well under.
So like on the Howling Coyote, they had to go,
You should have,
you know,
They didn't.
little boxes and
Right.
rectangles around it.
They
It
didn't.
shows,
But
but
they
it's
could have.
minimal. It's as close as you can get.
I was already wrong one, so.
Susie, you're taking over for questions tonight.
This is what I love about this commission. We laugh at it. I'm not at the commission. We just have the ability
I'm
to.
laughing, I'm not in trouble.
28.
Okay,
Scott was gonna get an update on Midtown
Yes.
Board.
It's coming.
it's coming.
That's a big.
Okay.
Matt and Madison and I have bumped up our meeting schedule. About a month ago, I asked Matt if he could attend weekly meetings. So we've been having weekly, at least 1 hour, if not 2 hour work sessions to go through, not every week. Matt has been hard at work drafting the first sections of the administrative part of the code. So we had talked about creating clear, plainly articulated submittal requirements and descriptions of process for each different subdivision application type and each different land use application type. Matt has now created that, and we've been reviewing that. We spent 2.5 hours last week going through.
2.5 hours on, no,
You know,
3 hours and 15 minutes on Wednesday. And like 2 hours on Tuesday.
Work is being done, and we're hoping to get that draft in front of you. I don't know if it'll be ready for the 24th, but
It's like 100 pages right now, so it'll be a lot.
The goal is to get those sections accomplished and reviewed, and then probably towards the end of summer and early fall, starting on zone districts. I think part of the benefit of that is more people will be not on summer vacation and in town and ready to focus on if we have open houses or other community meetings to talk about zone districts and stuff like that.
So explain to me, please, what administrative sections mean.
What we use when people want to apply for something, and what someone who wants to apply for something, go to the section of the code that they go to, say, oh, I wanna apply for variance. Here's my submittal requirements. I need an application form, I need a complete application. It lists out what exactly is a complete application, what kind of materials are required at a minimum. And then it spells out the process. Staff reviews it for completeness, staff then sends it out on referral, and then it puts all of that. Right now, those things are kind of separated in the code. And
So then those applications come before us.
there's a lot of inconsistency. So that was one of our main goals of this project, was to deal with contradictions, deal with consistency issues, and make sure that for each one of those application types, it's pretty darn clear what people have to submit and the process that they have to go through. The other part of that is we're looking at things that are currently something that is not necessarily a staff approval or administrative, that might be. So we're looking at ways that we can actually streamline some stuff.
But then the approval of those would come before us.
They may or may not, and we're
Staff's
talking-
approval would be you would get notified of.
Yeah, kind of like what we do now. with
Well, for
some-
instance, let's pull out variance, because we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah,
That would still come before us.
we are having debates, and it's gonna ultimately have to come back to the planning commission and town council to decide if it's gonna continue to be planning commission reviews a variance and council reviews a variance, or if it's only gonna be the domain of the planning commission, or it's only gonna be the domain of an elected official. So
But
we're
it
not
will not be
gonna
staff,
determine
it will
that.
be one of the
You and the
commissions.
council
It
will
will be
determine.
one of the commissions.
So we will not be making decisions on variances.
I'm sorry if I misunderstood the question.
I think, Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think variances have to go through a public process.
Right,
Absolutely.
but at the last we talked about it, we were talking about it being here. When Scott said that, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't going to be a staff decision. It
No,
would be a
that would-
commission or a
I
council
don't want that
decision.
burden on staff.
Fine,
It would be illegal.
Yeah, that too.
that's all. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Because there again, we have people in this room who
Well-
were not here at that time.
Well,
so-
you know, I already put my foot in my mouth once, so I might as well ask another question. Because I know we went through this, and I don't know if we're going through it again. I'm talking about the 27, 11, and 7/8. You have to refresh my memory, okay? Because I remember having a debate way back when I said it's measured from the point to the exterior wall. And that's the way that it used to be measured, but apparently it's changed from the ridge to the outside of the overhang.
Yes.
So are we gonna discuss that again, or where are we with that, Scott?
We will discuss that as well. That's another whole module.
Yeah, no, I know that's a little
Definitions and
piece.
things like building height calculation, which all roll into our illustrations that we want to improve.
Because you know, like, and I'm sure you remember me saying it before, because I thought I was right. but-
You're wrong.
I didn't realize, I'm not quite sure that it changed everywhere. But I didn't realize that it had changed, and because it was the exterior wall to the point. And the only reason I ask is, because I probably said it last time we talked about it, because if you make and we've gone through it, if the longer the overhang, it pulls down your midpoint, which makes your building taller.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
oh my
Yes.
gosh, unless you're not measuring midpoint, if it's a flat roof, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
We will be discussing it, Mike.
Yes.
That's the important thing.
it's all good, thank you.
So I'm sorry that it's been a long hiatus, but we also wasted some time figuring out who was going to do what. and whether or not we were gonna get some grant funding to pay for it before we felt comfortable sending Matt off to spend a lot more money and time on this stuff. I have not been successful in going after grants. Every route I go down, it's not the right grant, or we miss the boat or whatever. So at this point, we're just committing to paying Matt to help us get this done.
Question though, why are you saying more money from what started, what came into place there? Because there was a quote at the beginning about how much he was gonna cost, and you just said before we spend more money on Matt going down.
Yeah, we whatever we thought we were gonna spend on Matt's time, we burned through in February, January, those months. And so, you know, we still technically have it in the budget. And it's something that is an absolute priority for this town, so we're moving forward and we're doing it.
Well, so the money's already been
My original estimate
attributed
was,
to his work.
I think,
or however
conservative
you
and
say
pretty
that.
low, but
I would think that for the view of the general public, they would want it to be clearer, want to be more precise. They want to make it easier.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing.
and we quite frankly need Matt's help to get this done. And he's
Got a lot of
good
stuff.
at it. He has other experience from other jurisdictions where he's just done similar things. So he's bringing some good kind of best practices into the mix and into his product, which I think you'll like. So
It's probably when you get on a roll. You
Yep.
can get on the roll from what you did over in this town and just.
Oh, yeah.
we're challenging him on some stuff, and he's asking us questions like, "This is kind of what I've done elsewhere. Do you like this?" And sometimes we say no. Keep it some more similar to what we already have in our code or whatever. And so it's been a really good iterative process, but it takes time.
Good.
This is the
Batteries are.
planning commission comments. Did we not get is the manager's report just come out once a month?
We canceled the last meeting, so we have
That's
that
right.
one.
That's right. Okay. Anybody else have any planning commission comments?
I just wanna say I do like the way that you grew it in looks. I think it looks really good.
Have you been inside?
No?
Oh,
But
it's
Have
beautiful.
you?
Yeah,
Is it sick?
it's beautiful.
That's
It's
awesome.
no longer Southwestern.
Really?
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Well,
I mean, the
outside-
stucco part of it is, but the interior just, Old Dog had all the woven baskets and all the fabrics and things that did that. But I would call it mountain contemporary, you know?
Those back fire pits are gonna be gorgeous,
Have
like
you've been inside?
cocktails.
You've been inside?
Yes, well, Tierney has said at meetings, if anybody wants to come down, I'm always there, please come and see it. So I walked down to see it. Of course, Tierney wasn't there, and then she sent me a text, I can't believe this is the one day I was gone. But there
It's gonna
was,
be nightly rentals, like hotels
Yes.
and every night, right?
That's what we've been told.
It's awesome.
They have one unit that's like a 2-bedroom that you can rent for a little bit, like 2 weeks. That's like a 2-bedroom and then with a full kitchen,
Sweet.
but then everything else is regular hotel rooms.
I think that used to be the manager's quarters.
But they're still living on the property.
That's what I thought.
Joe and Tierney are living there. They have a
they're living there
caretaker
and they have,
Yeah.
well, they're living in what was Old Dog's quarters, from what I understand. And then there was Joe's quarters. Now, whether they've turned that
I
in,
think that's what they've turned into.
but I thought they were still gonna have a caretaker, maybe they decided not to do that.
Are they still?
But I do know they did that.
Are they still gonna allow Wilson to go down there?
That is their question.
Well, what?
Wilson, Johnson's dog.
Oh.
Johnson's dog.
They should charge rent.
Maybe.
He's a good dog. He doesn't have many years left.
No, he doesn't.
Okay. But yeah, just go front door and say, hey, I'm a resident, I'm on planning commission, I was told I can come down and look. Can you show me?
Trini?
Tierney. There used to be an actress called Jean Tierney, if you can remember that, because the minute she gave me her name, I knew it. And her mother loved that name, so when she was born, her mother gave her the name Tierney.
Her husband is Joe, and they're from Chicago.
There we
Joe
go.
from Chicago.
I can remember Joe.
I don't even wanna think about that.
It's like the two guys with the hot dog truck, they're real Chicagoans, and that was a really good hot dog.
Yeah, when is it coming back?
It's not.
It's not? It's in Avon permanently with the CG truck too. Okay, we're way off.
No, from what I, is it Avon? I thought it was Edwards.
I thought it was Edwards too.
Maybe
It
it's
was in the
Edwards.
paper, it's at the Edwards Market every Saturday.
But it doesn't have its permanent home in the Avon like cycle for like the Avon
Oh, I don't know.
concert.
But it's Shy
Shawshank.
Shack, and they are the best Chicago, I mean, being a Chicago girl, I had to go get one.
What happened?
It's $11.95 for a hot dog.
Move over to Larry's, and I think they've been working on getting their own permits because the lady who was doing it left the business, and so the two girls that were working with her took over it.
Got a new name, I think.
It does,
That I
something
know.
bells.
Bell's Southern Food.
Yes, it
Okay.
does.
So I missed the whole opportunity to get the Creole cuisine.
No, they
No,
have Creole.
they're still doing the Creole.
Yeah.
They are. She was open for like 3 weeks.
There were issues.
There were issues. Good.
I bet.
It was good. Yes, I hadn't realized how much I missed Cajun food being from that area until I had the opportunity to eat some. So it was good. But so I'm excited if these two girls, once they get their permits all in line, they can open it. You know.
So were they open this weekend?
I think they already have their inspection from the health department. Honestly, I'm not sure what they're waiting on.
You guys are talking about food and it's dinner time.
Normally you'd have 2 more hours to wait, but look what we did tonight.
So much work you did.
Houston was like a half hour drive.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's 20 minutes.
Okay, future meetings, July 24th. Eric here, Amanda,
Here.
Lynn here.
Yeah, okay.
Michael here.
And what's going on with staff?
Scott won't be here.
No Scott.
No.
So we will not be having Minturn Forward next meeting.
Unless Matt can handle it.
Unless, I'm sure he could handle it, but if it's that much reading, we should probably do it.
Depends what else we got.
True.
Maybe if we don't discuss it, maybe we could get them a draft for them to start reviewing since it
That
is so
would be
long.
great.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome. If we can't discuss it, if you could get us the paperwork to start reading.
And we got a packet of a meeting earlier.
If you give us that paperwork, do we have to disclose it in public and just say it's a continuation?
It would just be discussion direction. You don't have to continue a discussion direction, so
Okay.
you could talk as much or as little about it as you wanted.
Are there any more homes coming in?
Yeah, 2 of them will be on the next one.
Okay.
Yep.
So we do have a bit of something.
Yep.
And then we can go from there. Okay, so the only person who will not be here was Scott. August 14th, Eric,
Here.
Lynn here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, and yes, everybody will be here. Okay. So our next meetings are July 24th and August 14th. May I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting on July 10th, 2024.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Mo-
I like to second that.
Motion by Amanda, second by Daryl, all in favor?
Eric, I put your name in there.